What's up, YouTube and all you Kingston Gotway enthusiasts and all Shermanators? This is V coming at you. I know it's been a month of Sunday since my last video. However, as most of you guys know, I sustained an injury July 18th wherein I was hit by a car while riding my beloved 100 volt MSX. Now, my MSX did not fare well in that accident. My ankle didn't either, and I was down for the count for 2 months. Now, I know you guys did not click on this video to hear me go down memory lane, so I will spare you the story. But before I begin, I would like to thank Free Motion for providing me with the X to do this initial review. I highly suggest anyone that's in the market for an X, a Pro, or Sherman, reach out to Free Motion. I'm quite sure you will be satisfied. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, what can I say about the X? Now, if you guys thought the Sherman was heavy, you have something coming. Out of the box, this puppy weighs 85.5 pounds, as opposed to the Sherman, who weighs 80.4 pounds. This is about 5 pounds heavier. Now, I did take it on a quick trip around the neighborhood, and I'm here to tell you this wheel performed like that of the Sherman. It handled the same way the Sherman handled. However, this is not, I can't classify it or put it in the same class as a Sherman, because the Sherman is more of a performance wheel for speed, wherein this is basically, to me, my opinion, for folks that are in those areas where you have major imperfections in the roadways. Now, my initial ride this morning on this wheel, I found riding on dirt, hitting potholes and grass, it rolled like butter. It actually rolled like butter. However, popping off curbs with this wheel, and again, I have to, this is the initial review. I still have some tweaking to do with the suspension. It sounded similar to the S18. It made that clunky noise, something that to me, I didn't like the way it sounded. I have a video, you guys can hear it for yourself how it sounds. Again, I know I have to adjust the suspension. This is my first suspension wheel, and I'm not saying that I had everything down to a science, because that wasn't the case. But when the wheel did come to me, it had no instructions one way or the other. It came with this pump that was in pieces, and I will tell you this much. This little teat here on this pump actually comes off. I didn't know that, but it actually comes off. And what you do is you will insert this teat into the suspension rod and then clamp it back onto the pump and basically pump up the suspension. I have a video wherein I'm actually pumping the tire, which I'm sorry, not pumping the tire, pumping the suspension rod, and I will super embed it here. Now, I took a side panel off just to basically give it the once over, because we all know how Gotway like to operate when it comes down to quality control. And I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised, not overly surprised, but I noticed in taking off that panel that there were two speakers, and I say inverted. The speakers were basically facing the motor. So with that being said, when I played music, which I will embed it here, the sound quality, shitty. sorry to say, shitty. Yeah, shitty. Why Gotway decided to have the speakers facing the motor is beyond me. Now it does feel like it's rubber. I couldn't see because it's facing the motor, but I did put my hand underneath there, and it feels like it's rubber. Because I know if I'm riding on grass, dirt, or whatever, sand, whatever the case may be, that dirt is going to basically, that would be my concern, dirt penetrating or rocks penetrating the speakers. Now, the mud flap, this is one of the first that I know of, Gotway wheels that actually comes with a mud flap. I'm gonna tell you, this is a biatch to put on. You basically need to take this panel off, which pops off, and basically insert it in the slots that's afforded for the mud flap. Now, although there's a slot for the mud flap, this plastic is kind of a hard plastic, so bending it, maneuvering it, that was problematic for me. The volt reading is up top and in the back. Don't have a problem with that at all. Okay, lift handle. The lift handle, this sucks. I don't know what Gotway was thinking. There is no mechanism to lock it in place. It's flimsy at best for a heavy wheel. No go. The lift sensor to deactivate the wheel, because it consumes a large portion of the handle. For me, I'd rather have it than not, but because I live in a house, not an apartment, and I have 2 steps, and this is a heavy wheel, I'd rather use the motor, the wheel, and roll it down the stairs because it does have high clearance, making it real easy to pop downstairs. But because of the lift sensor being so widely consumed underneath the handle, sometimes without even thinking, you're deactivating the wheel. And no matter where you grab it, it's going to turn off. The charging port cover is made of rubber, and it has a rubber neck. And unfortunately, rubber crack, gets old, and because it has a rubber neck, that rubber neck eventually is going to deteriorate and break. And that's unfortunate because as much as this wheel costs, I would have thought Gotway would have come up with a better design, something a little bit more sturdy. It does have 1 charging port and 1 USB port. Also, this thing don't seat properly because of that neck, that rubber neck. It doesn't want to go down. So I can see water actually getting underneath there. And then if I have to fight with it to get it down, what's really the point? Also, because the on-off button is up top, I can see that being a problem too with water getting in it. I didn't take the wheel apart to see whether or not that's water sealed, but knowing Gotway, it's not. This particular wheel do not have the lights like the M Super Series on the front facing panels or the back facing panels. It did come with the the soft pads. However, again, I just took it out for a brief, quick ride around the neighborhood, and I don't have anything to say right now, one way or the other, whether or not I like them or not. Probably not, because this is a heavy wheel, and I'd rather have a little bit more protrusion in my pads to control it. Also, the pegs remind me of the Pro pegs. They were stiff. However, because I took the panel off and had to take the one of the pegs off, this particular peg that I took off, now it just moves with ease, whereas the other one on the other side is still hard, like the Pro. Not as bad, but still. But overall, again, this is just an initial review on the X, and I will do an in-depth review of it at a later date. But I just wanted to get this video out to let you guys know the Pros are coming out, and I'll basically see whether or not it's for me or not for me. But so in the meantime, in between time, guys, until next time. Hold on 1 minute. I know good and darn well I could not end this video without doing a no-load speed test. Let's try this again for good measure. Deuces.